comes rum coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over, over there, over there, over there. Send the word over.
Hey everybody, this is Joshua Littrell. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast today. I'm extremely excited to bring you our next guest, Michael Donnelly. Michael, how are you doing, sir?
I am living the dream, Josh. Living the dream. How about yourself?
Oh, the same. Absolutely the same. So, Michael, you are a veteran yourself, a Navy SEAL.
Yes, sir.
So, we oftentimes have veterans, we have civilians on our podcast, but the biggest thing that we try to focus on is our brothers and sisters who have either gotten into the industry or looking to get into the cannabis industry. And a big part of it is helping people understand that, look, you've got a great opportunity after you exit the military to get into the cannabis industry. And I know that wasn't your first path, and we're going to get into that as we go through our podcast today. But man, thank you so much for your service to this country, Michael. I can't say thank you enough from me personally.
Thanks, Josh, man. It was all voluntary, man. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to do it, and I volunteered, and turned out to do great things because of it. So I owe a lot to the military and the brothers and sisters that I worked with, no doubt.
Well, I tell you right now, I owe everything. I tell people all the time, had it not been for the military, I would probably be dead or in prison right now. And that's a big part of a lot of our lives, but not everybody goes through that, but a lot of us do. And you made that call to action and signed that dotted line and could have lost your life at any point in time. Very few of us actually do that. And the fact that you're continuing to serve now means the world. So tell our listeners what it is that you did. Why you joined, we can do quickly on that. But really, what have you been doing after the military as well?
Well, so like you said earlier, you're right. I could be dead or in jail. And that's it's not a direct path I was on, but it was definitely a path I could have stepped into easily.
Sure.
17 wasn't interested in school, but made it past 12th grade and didn't want to go to college, didn't want to work a regular job. It was interesting, man. I wasn't going anywhere fast. And luckily I took the ASVAB test, scored high. Military came to my high school and said, hey, you scored high in your ASVAB. This is what we can do. The Army came and talked to me. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to be a Green Beret. And then this is back before books and movies, but I talked to the Navy, and they're like, this is what we could do. And I'm watching them on this little TV, dudes jumping in and out of airplanes, in and out of boats. And I'm like, that looks cool. I'll do that. Let me try that. So,
man, I'm smiling from ear to ear hearing this story.
Right. So, I'm Irish, luck is on my side, every day. So joined the Navy, passed my exams, passed my physicals, went to BUD/S, passed that first time, went into the SEAL team, spent 10 years active, sniper, a lot of great qualifications, learned a lot, grew up. They taught me structure. They taught me discipline. They taught me how to be a man, not that my family didn't at the same time, but, definitely the military led me in the right direction on what I wanted to do in life. And that was just to be the best and be successful.
Well, Michael, I think you touched on it there too. It's not that your family didn't teach you how to be a man. It's just that the military taught us how to be different men or different women than we were before, right? Maybe we were kids and then we really did grow up when we joined. Yes.
Yeah, you had no choice. Luckily you had some good leaders in the military and you had structure and you had discipline and you had processes and procedures and consequences, which a lot of us don't grow up with. Once that's put in front of you and you have no choice but to do what needs to be done, it makes it easy. So I did that for 10 years and got out to go to college. I was born and raised in Miami, and I did most of my time in Little Creek, Virginia at SEAL Team 4. And I left at the 10-year mark because that was the time for me to decide, do your own thing or sign up and do this for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
So 10-year mark, I decided, you know what, time to be my own boss. I was tired of people telling me what to do, where to go, how to do it. So it was time for me to do it on my own. So came back to Miami, went to college, started going to college, working part-time. And I noticed by working part-time, I was working for a business and funny, working in the low voltage industry, crawling through attics, pulling wire, installing security systems and fire alarm systems and doing that. And in college, I still wasn't enjoying school. So I decided to stop going to college full time and go learn a trade full time.
Okay.
So yeah, got involved in the low voltage industry. And I did that for 12 years, man, from crawling through attics, installing security systems, fire alarm systems, camera systems, and so on, networks. I did that from installing to sales, from sales to operations. And then after doing that for 12 years, got my own state license. And now I own one of the largest low voltage companies in South Florida with offices in Atlanta and West Palm, and a monitoring company on a central station, a call center. So did that, right out of high school, built that, developed that, designed that. And that was my passion to get involved in it, learn it, and then start my own company. Because I believe owning your own company, being your own boss is the American dream. Everybody should give it a try. Not everybody can do it, and not everybody has what it takes, so to speak.
Right.
But I believe everybody should at least try it, at least once, in some form or another.
Well, I could not agree more. And I know, you're also passionate about fitness and staying in shape. And get off your ass and try to do the things you need to do to be successful, you're not going to be successful. So you're driven by yourself. And I think that the hemp and cannabis industry is a perfect opportunity for us to teach our brothers and sisters how to start something new that we can have a large footprint and hold in that's a brand new burgeoning industry. What do you think about that?
That's a great point. And it goes along with everything you do in life. If you don't put the work in, you're not going to get anything out of it, right? But with the CBD and the cannabis industry, it is so fresh and so new that there's many different avenues in both of them that you can get involved in, whether it's product, whether it's growing, whether it's distributing. Like there's a lot of avenues that you can get into and really make an impact. Now, Absolutely. A lot of people think, and you'll hear it, and it is true. Like the industry is saturated somewhat for CBD and for cannabis, but there's always room. There's always a piece of the pie. Like I hear it a lot. Like, oh, there's too many people doing it. Well, you can still do it. You can still get your niche and get it done and do very well for yourself. So, and as long as you don't have that thought process that there's too many people and I won't be able to break in or do anything, I think that's a fallacy. I believe there's always an opportunity, no matter what industry. If you put the work in and you have the right message, you're going to do well.
Well, and I think you alluded to it earlier. The great point about this is, look, we're not just talking about having a shot to sell CBD, right? There's so many touch points in the product chain that a veteran can get involved in, even a civilian if they're interested in it. Growing. First and foremost, agrotherapy from growing. The benefit that you get therapeutically growing an industrial hemp plant, watching it come to fruition, and then making a medicine out of that, phenomenal, So many different touch points that they can get into that we've got to teach them, and we have to kind of help them along in that process. Right.
Now, and it's not, get out of the military and go start a business. A large percentage really need to go ground up. It needs to be, the thought process has to be, no matter what, I'll go sweep the floors at this plant or at this facility or at this store. And then from there, I'm going to watch and I'm going to learn and I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to study. And then from sweeping the floors, I'm going to open mail. Then I'm going to pay bills. And then I'm going to start ordering product. Then next thing you know, I'm selling it. Then the next thing you know, I know enough about this where I'm going to do this on my own because I've seen the industry. I know the niches. I know the ins and outs. I know where it's lacking here. I know where I can be a benefit here, and then get into it. I mean, don't necessarily think you're going to just jump into an industry and start your own business and be successful. There's a lot of ups and downs. It's a possibility, but a good route is from bottom up.
And boom, you hit the nail on the head. You know, my wife is still active duty, so we're stationed here at Robins Air Force Base. She's been in 21 years, and a lot of her colleagues have been getting out right now, right? They're retiring. They're at that 20-year mark. And what you just said is what they don't want to do. How can you take an E8 or E9 or a major or lieutenant colonel or colonel and tell them to go sweep the floors, right? But they got to get over themselves. So how can you and I and our brothers and sisters in the industry help get that messaging right so they're willing to understand that and understand what it takes to be successful? How do we fix that?
Yeah,
we ask the tough questions here on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast.
Yeah, I mean that takes a lot of education, a lot of planning to. I mean, there's programs. It's amazing actually how many programs are out there for veterans right now. And honestly, I don't know how many programs are out there for veterans going into the cannabis industry. You know, that's a great. Actually, Josh, can you tell me how many programs are out there that are helping veterans coming out, get into the cannabis industry? Because I'm not aware of any.
There are zero, Michael. That is exactly correct. So that's a big part of what we've been working on specifically here at the base level is how do we get into these TAPS briefings? How do we actually – we're here to stay. The cannabis industry is not going anywhere, but it's that negative stigma that comes along with it. Plus, as you know, our active duty, like the wife comes home, sees all these bottles of cannabis around the office and all the flour and all the isolate, and she just wants to use it because her knees hurt, but she can't. Right? I mean, that's a huge issue. So until we get like Representative Gabbard, Tulsi Gabbard out of Hawaii has that the amendment that the bill that she just introduced to make sure that the military can't make CBD illegal. If we get that done, then maybe that's how we can get into these TAPS briefings and start making sure that programs are available for the hemp industry and we don't even use the cannabis word, right? Or damn sure don't use marijuana.
Right. Yeah. I mean, great point, unfortunately. It's funny that you say that because I know California, like we've been working with VAs. We've been in discussion with VAs recently with the CBD path on how we can help our veterans and VAs, knowing what CBD does for our veterans and the amount of feedback that we get, and it's phenomenal. So we're going to VAs right now saying, okay, what do we need to do? There's a VA out of California that has a pilot program they're working on right now with CBD. So there's a couple things in play with CBD and the VA and the government. We've heard some noise lately where I know the military's looking at the CBD situation again and what they want to do with it.
Right. Yeah, they absolutely are.
So you're telling me that a lot of these major CBD companies don't have any veteran programs hiring veterans?
No, very few of them. There are one or two.
I'm sorry, cannabis and CBD.
No, so the cannabis industries, it does have a couple here and there, like some of the consultants that I've had on and some of the ones we've worked in the past. They do have veteran hiring programs, but it's only like one position open, where most of these, because they are still a cash only business, especially on the cannabis side, recreational medical, right? They've only got one or two slots open, and they're more worried about profits than they are taking care of the men and women who've protected their asses. So that's a frustrating part of it. And Michael, you probably have experienced this already, but I've been in this, 6-7 years now, and the backstabbing that happens in the cannabis industry is, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it in my whole entire life. So it's frustrating. They don't care about our community. That's why it has to be us doing this for ourselves.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting concept. Honestly, Josh, I'm in several companies besides the CBD path. I'm invested in Kaya out of Jamaica. We got the first legal license to grow and sell marijuana in Jamaica. I'm also invested in two other public companies that have to do with marijuana as well. I've never been on the cannabis side. I've never been on even though we have dispensaries in Jamaica, I'm not thoroughly involved with that side of cannabis as far as the dispensaries